Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode on the HighLevel Experience Podcast. Our guest today is a total legend in the digital community and an expert in the intersection of AI and business. A former Marine who channels the discipline and resourcefulness learned in the Corps into cutting-edge technological advancements. With a rich background in marketing and passion for leveraging AI to transform small and medium-sized enterprises, he now leads as the head of partnerships at HighLevel Pro Tools, where he forges invaluable connections within the HighLevel community. Please welcome to the show, Mario Aldayuz.
Hey, Vit, how you doing?
Great, Mario. I'm doing great, mate. It's morning. I'm rock and rolling. We've got a solid plan for the rest of the day. But more importantly, how are you going, mate?
I'm great, man. I just finished up a mastermind in Austin, Texas, with the Bramify crew. So Adrian Brambilla and his amazing team. And before that, I was at a mastermind in Burbank, California for the HLPT SaaS Insiders, which was absolutely wonderful. So I'm doing great, man. Just jazzed up with knowledge and energy.
You're a busy man, Mario. You're a busy man. I love it. Mate, you've had a fascinating journey, from running a large marketing firm to delving deep into the world of AI and now, leading partnerships at HighLevel Pro Tools. Could you share with us what initially sparked your interest in AI and how it led you to where you're today?
Yeah, so I always joke that the reason that I got into AI is because I'm lazy. And Gary Capps will beat me over the head for saying that, but because I work, 18 to 20 hours a day generally, what got me into AI was seeking an opportunity for efficiency and increased efficiency and better automation of systems. So I come from a background in the military of developing test equipment, procedures, and systems for a variety of things in the aviation industry.
Mhm.
And so part of what we used to do is have to run the same piece of equipment over and over again, or the same type of equipment over and over again. So I started building systems for automating those tests. And then when I discovered AI, it really became a no-brainer that was the more efficient method to start automating a lot of what humans do.
And efficiency is where it's at. And efficiency is what we're going to talk about today, Mario. AI is a big buzzword as well, though. So could you break down, some common myths, what you hear some small business owners, are saying about AI?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I think the biggest thing that small business owners fear or are afraid of or hesitant to use it is a lot of, the hesitation that they had, with the cell phone, with the advent of the internet, with the industrial revolution for that matter. And what really drives that hesitation is an unknown, and it being unknown to the point where they're concerned it's going to take their job, or it's going to be wrong, or they've never tried it before. And so one of the things that I actually present, and what I just got done presenting on this past weekend, was really the demystification of AI and helping people to understand where it comes from, where it's going, how it's impacting us, and what it means for us at the turn of this technology in time, and how that affects human evolution. So a lot of business owners really are just afraid of AI because they've never tried it before. And I
Hmm.
think that, the biggest thing that they need to understand is that it is happening. It's unavoidable. And those who adopt it and become a part of this change are going to catapult in their acceleration upward with their businesses. They're going to reduce overhead. They're going to streamline their operations. They're going to become more accurate in their operations. There's a lot of benefit to it. They just have to get on board, essentially.
Yeah. Mate, let's stay on this topic. This is good. We have a lot of high levelers listening, and AI employee is the big opportunity for us all this year. It's still very much of a blue ocean. But yeah, topic of like speaking to small business owners. What's the best approach? I have seen a post that you made that you've been talking to some art collective, some group of artists or something like that. Maybe I got it wrong, but in general, like you go to these business owners and you talk to them. What are some like good ways to, like when you're presenting, when you're talking to them, but what are some good ways to that you found that are working, that makes the whole thing make really easy to understand by them?
Yeah, so I think the first step is really to show them how it works, to ask them what their pains are, and then the same way that you sell high level, right? Because missed call text back it face the same challenges, text messaging face the same challenges, marketing automations and emails face the same challenges. The selling AI really isn't that much different. It's identifying the pain points that these business owners have and then helping to show them how you're providing them with a pain pill using AI and how that pain pill is going to alleviate their pain. It's going to solve their problem and it's going to make their lives better. It's going to give them back time, right? So whenever I'm presenting to people about AI, one of the first things that I talk about is kind of where it came from. And then I usually break into, what are the differences in the AI types, voice AI, conversation AI, reviews AI, all the different features in the AI employee. And then from there, I break it down into now tell me, what are things that you struggle with? Do you struggle if you're under, let's take, say a plumber, for example, right? Let's
Mm-hmm.
say that you're under a sink or under a house, running a water line and someone calls you. Do you answer that phone call? And generally the answer is no. And it's like, so you just missed a lead. And that applies to all industries, painters, plumbers, HVAC, every attorneys, everybody suffers from the same problem. And it's that you have this staff or receptionist, but then that receptionist goes to lunch. You're missing an hour worth of phone calls, right? I can't tell you how many times I've tried to book an appointment with my dentist. And the only time that I'm able to call them is on lunch and they're closed during lunch. But if they had voice AI, they'd get my booking. Right. So I talk about these different pain points and situations they find themselves in. And then I break it down into bite-sized chunks that are digestible by the everyday business owner.
Excellent. So you make it relatable. You pick a specific industry, specific use case, and that's what makes it like easy to get it. As opposed to a mistake what some might do in newbies in the community that they pitching the features, right? And that's like you just state feature to a business owner, and they're going to be like, well, yeah, cool. How
Why do
does
I
that
need
relate?
that?
Yeah, how does that relate? How does that relate to my
Exactly.
business? Yeah. And when you're doing these presentations, how long would you normally run them for?
So typically, if I'm speaking to an audience, so if it's one-to-one, about 15 minutes is what you'll get from a business owner before their eyes glaze over.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm speaking to an audience, usually my demos are about 30 minutes long, on up to an hour long if it's a very large audience and I'm presenting on a variety of topics. But I would say 15 to 30 minutes is about the maximum that you want to pitch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And do any live demos during the presentations?
I do. I'll actually just plaster a number across the screen and be like, everybody call this and text it.
Nice.
It's very effective. And one of the things that I do is I will actually single out I'll do my prep work for that event and I'll usually ask the event coordinator, single out a business that's struggling or a business that is open to being kind of the butt of a joke.
Like a hot
And
seat kind of thing.
exactly. And I'll talk to that business owner first to make sure that they're okay with it. But usually what I do is I take their information, I scrape their website, I put all their stuff in the voice AI, I tailor it to them. Same with conversation AI. And then when people call and text it, they're familiar with that business owner who's there because, everybody at a conference generally knows each other.
Mm.
So They're familiar
That's
with that
smart. I
business.
like that.
And then they're like, oh, wow, look, Johnny's got this. Like, his marketing sucks. Like, but Johnny's got this. Like, why don't I have it? This is amazing.
That's awesome. That's, I am planning to do some local, workshops, presentation, just like this, right? My local BNI and whatnot. And I've been thinking, like, obviously doing a live demo. And I was going to do it in my business, like, hey, call a stand out from the park, like, just have a crack at it. But this is great because this is actually taking it to a much, much more relatable level. And you're most likely going to, whoever's on the spot, they're definitely going to buy. And whoever's listening,
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
Guys, this is what I love about doing this podcast. If you're listening as well, like, take notes because, every now and then there's something like this that may not sound like much, but these are like powerful tactics that you definitely want to write down and implement because I definitely use this 100%. Thank you for sharing.
It works really well. I mean, I use it all the time. I just did a boating conference like 3 weeks ago, and I sold the voice AI like hotcakes. I mean, everybody there was like, man, you mean we don't have to man the front desk 24/7? No. And they loved it. And all I did was demo one person's yacht yard as an example. It was perfect.
Genius. Now that's obviously for inbound, which is currently the only way to run it through GHL. Do you do it yourself? Do you use GHL for voice in AI, or do you use third party?
For outbound?
Well, for both.
Either way. I use Vappy. So at Pro Tools, we use Vappy for outbound and inbound because it has a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more configurability. And I built out some pretty powerful applications that bolt on to Vappy for booking inside of GHL.
Is this I haven't heard. I know you guys, partner with Zappy Chat. That's been a big driving force of the last 2-3 years. Vappy, Is that a separate company?
Vappy is a separate company. That's correct.
Have you guys been promoting it, or is it sort of in a testing mode internally?
So Vappy is a third-party company that we use, kind of like SynthFlow, but better. And we haven't really promoted it very much because it was still in beta up until recently.
Okay, now that makes sense because I'm very much entrenched in the community. I'm like, hang on a minute, what did I miss? Okay, yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, so we use that. We just released the first iteration of my Vappy build to our SaaS insiders this past week in Burbank.
Okay, excellent. So knowing how Matt, and the whole team at HighLevel Pro Tools, how you guys kick ass, this is something that you probably be like releasing to the rest of the community at some point this year.
That's correct.
I love it. Well, there you go, guys. You guys get a bit of a heads up info on this. So thanks for sharing, Mario.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So you're now a member of, you're working with Matt, you're working at HighLevel Pro Tools. Can you tell us about like your role at HighLevel Pro Tools and how you help agencies, high levelers?
Sure, absolutely. So at HighLevel Pro Tools, I'm the head of partnerships. So my job is developing relationships with strategic partners that can be agency owners, that can be companies like Vappy, Telmix, Twilio, other support agencies. I mean, you name it. My job is to build out partnerships with those people and to help everybody in the community grow together. So one of my main focuses is our affiliate program, which we have redubbed the Ambassador Program. So for those of you who are not HighLevel Pro Tools affiliates yet, highly recommend you become one. And one of the reasons why is we are in the middle of the season of Ambassadors first quarter. So can you guess, Vit, what the first quarter prize is for first prize for the Ambassador Program?
Like for the quarter of most referred or
Correct.
most generated. Yeah. Kind of like high level.
What do you think
like
we would give out as a prize?
Well, I know that in the past, from what I remember, you guys did, and there was more like a lucky draw kind of thing at the Level Up Summit, which was Tesla. I mean, obviously, I would think probably be money.
Even better, man. We are doing an all expenses paid trip to Malibu for you and your family.
Nice.
So anyone from anywhere in the world, whoever has the highest net new affiliate revenue coming in, we are giving an all expenses paid trip, food, airfare, lodging, everything to Malibu in California.
And to hang out with you guys as well, or
You can if you want, but we won't impose. The whole idea is that you get to go out there and just relax and enjoy,
yeah,
take some time, all of that stuff. So
that's that's great. I like it. This is awesome. Now, what are like your top affiliates earning at the moment, if you don't mind me asking?
yeah, absolutely. So we have some of our top affiliates earning between $10,000 and $20,000 a month in affiliate commissions.
Very good. That's solid numbers.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Our affiliates are amazing.
I feel like I think, like we owe it to the audience because I always forget, but we might have some new high levelers listening, and they may be like, "Hey, what's HL Pro Tools?" Can we just do like a quick elevator pitch for the guys that are new?
Yeah, absolutely. So HL Pro Tools is a white label provider of support and onboarding for high level agencies and other softwares as well. So let's say that you are a new agency owner in the high level space and you're looking to scale out, but you can't necessarily afford or find or have the desire to hire a big team of support representatives in house or onboarding representatives in house. So Pro Tools fills that gap by being your third party partner. And I say partner because we're way more than just a vendor. We do tons of coaching, tons of live support and advice from marketing to business to high level, everything you can think of. And we do so in a totally white label fashion for your sub accounts. And as the agency owner, you get direct access to our team, obviously not in a white label format, but this really helps to bridge the gap because high level doesn't provide support to end users, whereas Pro Tools does. We are also 100% human based. So, unlike some other support companies that are predominantly AI focused, our entire support operation is human based. The second you chat in, you get a human, not an AI.
Now, guys, I am a full disclosure. I'm a subscriber to this service, and here's why I love it as well. Like from my personal standpoint, is because like you've got this incredible opportunity to own your own SaaS business of high level, right? So you white label it, you brand it, but you really need to understand it end to end to be able to cut to help your customers who sign up, the business owners that sign up, to actually use it to benefit. And you might do some snapshot, like set up snapshots or build custom for them, but you still need to provide the end-to-end tech support because it may be the business owner that you're dealing with, but it's their team that is going to be using the system to leverage from it. And so you got to think like, well, I'm not actually servicing just one person. I'm servicing maybe
Right.
10, 20 people in their team, admin people, sales people, and they're going to be coming across some issues or they just need some technical support. And that is something that you're never going to be able to provide in a scalable way. You can do things like open office hours. You can do things like a group based, open office hours, and you can certainly do it up to a set number of customers, maybe 10, 15, 20. But you're going to start to hit a certain friction, certain roadblock where beyond that, you just either hire more people internally to do it or and train them and then hope that they're going to stay and whatever. But what's beautiful about this service, and there's a couple of vendors in the marketplace, by the way, but in this case, HL Pro Tools, what they do really well is that you pay them a fee and they will provide that support for your customers as if they were part of your team. So you really have, I mean, in terms of barrier to entry to run a SaaS agency, it's incredible.
Absolutely. And one of the best parts about Pro Tools is that our quality of service really stands on its own. I know almost every single one of our technicians. We have, of all the support companies, we are the largest. We have been around the longest. We have the highest quality of service. We deliver on what we promise. We don't overpromise, but we over deliver.
I like that. That's an approach I like to take as well in my business, like to surprise customers, because you have this little like a honeymoon period, right? When somebody signs up, they've just made an investment, they're like excited, and now you drop something on top they didn't expect. It's like, well, that's kind of like really smart way how you shorten the transformation of a customer into an evangelist, right?
Absolutely. One of the things that I think is really valuable to talk about is our vision and our mission, or Matt's vision and Matt's mission, which is to help 5,000 entrepreneurs achieve financial freedom in the next 5 years. And that is the core of what our company runs on. We're not in it to grow our customer base necessarily. We're not in it to, obviously we need to make money, right? But we're not in it for the money. We're in it to help people. So we are absolutely a partner with the agencies we work with. We're not just a vendor. Like, everyone has my personal cell phone. Everyone has my email, my calendar. Like, we run tons of coaching calls. We have tons of value that we provide. And I actually had a woman the other day tell me that she was curious why we don't sell stuff more. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, well, I got on your webinars and there's no pitch. And I was like, you're right, because our webinars are designed to help people. And if they want to buy, they're welcome to buy. If they don't want to buy, we're not going to force it down their throats. But yeah, so that's, those are just some of the things that make us different as a company.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of inbound marketing in general. Anyway, it's more of an ethical and more of a value based model. It's something that I like to do in my business too. I don't like to like promote too much. It's more about providing value, and if you do it right, people will come, and that's the right focus.
Absolutely.
Right? Because if you just focus on like how much money you want to make, you're just focusing on something that you don't even have yet, and it's like might have like, yeah, it's just like wrong. The money will come. Like, if you do well, if you provide value, if you're genuine, you will attract the right people. They will value and they will invest in you, right?
And they'll stick.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, that's I mean, isn't that a topic in itself? A leaky bucket, right? Like, what are
Absolutely.
most, and even just agencies aside, like working with small businesses, like everybody seems to be like just being interested in helping grow, or in terms of customers, or getting more leads. But what they really want is they want to be more profitable, and that doesn't necessarily mean they have to have either more customers. They could just increase lifetime value of those, or
Exactly.
just keep them for longer.
Yeah, 100%. Totally agree with you, man.
Yeah. One other thing I want to highlight as well, just to give guys the full picture, is yes. So in terms of like how your different plans that you guys offer for the it's a true 24/7 customer support, right? You do it through Zoom, you do it through chat. But aside from that, that comes with like I believe like your middle and a third, like a top plan. If somebody's starting out, they might not be able to afford it just yet, and also justify it just because they don't have enough customers. They can probably deal with it themselves initially, but you do have something to help them, right? You got that intro plan that is super cool. It's something that I've been using for over a year and a half. The features that come in with that plan, and yeah, help us break it down for the guys listening. I'm happy to talk about it, but you probably do a better job than me on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have our core services plan, which is $99 a month. And the core services plan includes access to a bunch of different tools and resources that provide value to you as the agency owner. The best plan for entry-level agency owners is the $299 VIP plan, and that's up to 10 sub accounts. And that's really, $300 a month for 24/7, 365 support. And we're multilingual too. So we speak, I want to say 4 or 5 different languages. We auto route customers to technicians that speak those specific languages. But at that entry level plan, the VIP plan, you get up to those 10 sub accounts. And that's really just an amazing opportunity for agency owners to get their feet wet, to begin growing their accounts. And by the time they have 10 sub accounts, they're ready to scale to our elite plan. So it's one of those, like, People always ask, do we have plans in the middle, anything like that? And the reason is no, because if you have 10 sub accounts and you're ready to evolve off the VIP plan, you're already making enough money you can afford the elite plan, and it makes sense. And that's unlimited sub accounts.
Yeah. And let's be honest. You're either a serious business owner or you're a hobbyist. So, put yourself accountable, like do it. Right.
Well, I can't tell you. You talk about the different plan tiers, and Platinum is probably one of my favorite plan tiers. Now, Platinum starts at $3,000 a month, but it includes access to our SaaS Insiders program, direct coaching with Matt and Graham, direct coaching with me, access to all of our snapshots, the theme builder, the template libraries, basically everything HL Pro Tools has to offer for $3,000 a month. And I was really surprised to learn when I was at the SaaS Insiders event this past week in Burbank, how many of our SaaS Insiders are just starting out. And I said, why are you paying $3,000 a month to start out? And they're like, because I went from 0 to 10 in a week. And then I went from 10 to 100 in a month. Like, because of the coaching and the resources that I have in the SaaS Insiders program and on Platinum, I can scale infinitely faster. So for business owners that have a little bit more capital and are willing to make the investment, we call them unicorns. And it is the best opportunity for businesses to scale very quickly.
Yeah, if you got the money and you got the time, it's like there's nothing stopping you. You got everything. You got everything available to you, all the resources. Well, there's a couple of other things that I wanted to point in as well. So and what I like, for me in particular, what I like I'm a bit of a perfectionist, right? So I like to build my own systems. I build my own snapshots, and I know you guys have snapshots, and I looked at them and they're great. But what I didn't want to build was a knowledge base, and
Right.
So that is another really cool element to that. So what it is guys, you basically have an ability to plug in just your own domain, fully branded, and now you have a knowledge base of articles, like wikis for your customers to just go in there and like use the search bar, and they can kind of like when you go to help, I think it's help.gohighlevel.com, right? When you're trying to look up help articles for you as an agency using HighLevel, you do that. You won't send your customers down that path because like you want to keep it white label, right? So, if you had to, I can't count how many features there are with my two hands. There's just way too many features the HighLevel has. There's way too many updates all the time. So, you would have to have a team of people to continue to build that knowledge base, keeping up to date. It's just humanly impossible. So this is a really, really like high leverage feature. You just set it up, and now I think we've got ours on help dot a subdomain like that. And yeah, so my customers just go there. Not everybody will, but some will do. So you're covering that portion of the customer base who are like savvy and they want to like learn themselves. The other thing I really like, which I haven't used, and I've had it available, but I haven't used it because I've done it way before that was available anyway, is a theme builder, right? So I've pimped up my GHL with custom CSS before, but then I know you guys rolled it out. I think it was like just 12 months-ish ago, and I just kept looking at it the whole year. I'm like, I've already got it done, but like it would be probably easier if I've got it done through that way because it's more
so much easier.
WYSIWYG, what you see, what you get. And yes, I've just done it like just around Christmas, and now my GHL looks like even more cool than before. So really like that. The third thing is the interactive help guide. So again, really, really powerful. In SaaS business, the adoption is one of the most critical KPIs, right? How quickly a user, not just the business owner, but their users, right? The team members, how quickly they'll adopt and understand how they can use the CRM, how they can use it day to day, like the sales reps, whoever, is critical. Like that's going to determine the churn rate. Is one of the important attributors, right? So if you can have something, what we do on our end, like it's Stand Out from the Pack, my SaaS agency, we have obviously the community. It would be stupid if we didn't leverage from the built-in community in GHL. We've got quick start courses, we got videos, we've got all those, and they're all great. But something that's like always available just when people log in and in and then navigating around the different features of the platform is the interactive help guides. It's just a simple button, dynamic button that changes based on what page of GHL you're at. So if you're on funnels, learn about funnels. If you're on pipelines, the button changes and it says learn about pipelines. So your customers can see that button, and when they click on it, you just get a cool little pop-up that talks about, hey, so this is this feature and what it does. And then, it's kind of like one of those like click next, and then it talks like something next about that. So it's like, if you ever sign up to any software before, any solid software these days, they have this stuff. So the fact that we can have it as well, it's very powerful.
Yeah, I totally agree with you 100%. And the features that we pack in, I mean, we pack a punch. We try and build in features that make sense and complement high level. You mentioned the knowledge base, for example, and how you would need a team of people to update. We have a team of people at Pro Tools that updates the knowledge base on a daily basis. We have tools that scan high level for changes that automatically start documenting those changes. We're constantly monitoring the change log. We're doing all of this so that you don't have to as an agency owner.
Yeah, I love it. Mario, with your expertise in AI, I'm really curious, like, what are some of the most exciting AI tools or features that HL Pro Tools is currently working on or plans to release? I know we talked about the voice thing, but anything else?
Yeah, so really the AI that we're using to analyze conversations and develop help articles and help guide our team on training and things like that. I think that's probably, and again, because we are human based in terms of support. So we don't have an AI front layer. There's no bot that shows up when you chat in. It's all human support. But internally, we're using AI to analyze everything on the back end. And that's really helping to ensure that we have the best knowledge, the best technicians, and the best progress.
I love it. That's excellent. So before we move past the next part of the of this interview, I want to really got some solid questions. I want to dive in more into AI in general with you. But now that we've been on the topic of HL Pro Tools, it's good to kind of like wrap it up, let the guys know a bit of an offer where they can go to learn more about it.
Yeah. So if you're looking for the Pro Tools offer, go to the highlevelexperience.com/HL Pro Tools, and you'll find our best offer there for you. So make sure and check that out. Thank you again, Vit, for putting us on the site and getting everything squared away. Super excited about that.
I'm excited to have you guys on the show. I'm excited to help other high levelers learn about it, because it can be a bit of a lonely journey when you're starting out. So definitely check it out, guys. HighLevelExperience.com HighLevelExperience.com/HL Pro Tools to learn more about HL Pro Tools and how you can benefit from their services. Now, Mario, reflecting on your transition before you HL Pro Tools, before all this, you ran your own agency, BRMC, I believe it's called.
That's correct. Yep.
So you transitioned from owning that to now like exploring AI and doing what you do now. What were some of the challenges that you faced, and like how did you overcome that in that journey?
Yeah, so probably the biggest thing was just going from being a SaaSpreneur and owner operator to, being a consultant and having, honestly, it wasn't that challenging. It kind of, the hardest part, I think, was, when I started working for Extendly, kind of fitting back into that more corporate culture where things were a little bit more rigid and defined. But overall, I mean, I've had a really good experience so far in everything I've been doing. I was very unhappy as an agency owner towards the end, just because it does get, running an agency for almost a decade gets a little bit wearing down on you. So for me, it was really a breath of fresh air to be able to make that transition.
Mm-hmm. Now, you were in Marines, so I'm also curious. Our past experiences shape how the way we do things, right? How do you think your experience in the Marines has influenced your approach to business and tech?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the Marines, like I was saying earlier, I was a test equipment and procedure development engineer. So electrical engineer by trade. My job was to identify test procedures and identifying craft test procedures, as well as identifying craft test equipment to help test different units or pieces of equipment. And what that led me to is a little bit of a different way of thinking and problem solving in a more systems focused approach and an understanding of how systems operate. So when I picked up high level, for me, innately, I just kind of knew how it worked because it makes sense. So everything I learned in the Marines really helped guide me to being able to be more effective in the high level space.
Right. I mean, everything is about structure, order, systems, right? In
Right.
in defense. So I would think I haven't been in the military, but that's how it is, right?
Yep, exactly.
So how do you stay updated with all the like rapid advancements in AI? I mean, it's continuously shaping. There's new things coming out all the time. Do you have any resources that you recommend to like to stay up to speed?
So AI, ironically enough, I switched ChatGPT to be my search engine, and ChatGPT is opened up to Google. So I can ask it for the most relevant information on AI, and it'll actually go source all of it for me and give me a hit list to read every morning. It's amazing.
That is great. Yeah. I was thinking to my wife. She's currently looking to get back into the workforce. She's been a stay-at-home mom for the last 4 years with my son, which we were very fortunate. But time to get back in the workforce, and she's feeling a little bit apprehensive about like having to put herself out there and pitch and send job applications and all that asset to. Because she's like, well, what do I put in my CV? And like, oh, I have to like count these cover letters, just feeling overwhelmed. I say, well, what we might do is why don't we build you a chat, like your own chat GPT, right? Just feed it with an info about what you like to do, your preferences, but also your past experiences, your the CV, put it in there.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
that anytime you're looking for a new job and you're sending out these cover letters, just drop a link. You could probably even drop a link to that job offer, right? The listing, and let it do its magic and help you scale this, right?
Yep,
Because
that's the way to
it
do it.
is. It is like it can be like that, like when and even like myself, I find myself like I just like sometimes like you could do it even something like doing a webinar, like sometimes you don't feel like just being because you have like by nature, like I think entrepreneurs, we can be a little bit introverted sometimes, so it's like whatever works, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Hey, Mario, so a couple of rapid fire questions regarding high level. What high level has originally grabbed your attention? Was there something specific or like a problem you're trying to solve?
When I started with high level, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so actually a customer, former customer of mine brought it to me and it was white labeled. And they claimed that this podunk marketing company had built this software. And I was like, there's no way. Like, I'm not that gullible. So I cracked under the hood, looked in the code, and found it was high level, and then discovered I could white label it, and it was game on from there. It was purely by happenstance that I stumbled on it 6.5 years ago, and I will never look back. It's the greatest thing that's happened to me.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Is there any like a particular feature that you like most that really stands out for you that you really like to use the most?
Yeah, it's the unified inbox. I think is
Mm-hmm.
probably the biggest thing for me is the unified communications tool to be able to centralize all of your emails, text messages, Instagram messages, Facebook messages, phone calls, everything into one conversation stream is the best part of high level.
Yeah, I agree. It's I wouldn't say it's my most favorite, but it's definitely one of the most powerful, and almost like it doesn't it doesn't get enough recognition almost because it's like there's
So
nothing
simple.
it's so simple but so effective, right?
Absolutely.
It's almost like, I mean, if we just like went into a topic of like good foot in the door offers, right? I mean, we could go on, right? There's so many, but this is one of them, right? So simple. Like, even if you just go to any networking event and you speak to owners, they might be like, yeah, I'm managing their communication left and right.
Yep.
It's like, mate, I can just help you solve that, just that.
Just use HighLevel.
Yeah. What about new features coming out that like sort of on the roadmap for GHL to get released? What about those? Any particular one that you're really excited about?
I'm really excited about their release of the outbound voice AI. I think that's going to
The
be a game changer.
Hang on, so go against because voice AI is already inbound voice AI is already there, right? So
Yeah, so outbound voice AI.
Outbound. Okay, yeah, I missed that. Yeah, outbound. Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, yeah. Well, it'd be interesting to see how they work around some legal like considerations. I guess I had a sit down with a couple of real estate guys just before Christmas, and one of them is a seller agent. And he's like, mate, so we do the whole the openings, we do the auctions, we do all that, and we always have people that are like fresh and they're like top of the list that we touch base with. But then there are people from way back that never bought. They came to inspections, and like we just do not have time to follow up them. We just don't. And so he was like, "Man, like I'm really interested in like how we could use outbound like voice like AI for outbound." Like I said, well, we don't have anything like that available just yet. It's coming. And then he goes, and how will that work? Like if because like every industry has their own like regulations, and it also depends country to country. But here in Australia, there's some regulations. And he goes, well, by law, like if you're providing any advice, like a real estate agent advice, you have to be certified. Would that mean like if my AI talks to somebody and starts to give them some answers that would fall under that category, does it mean that the AI needs to be
Right.
licensed?
That's crazy. Yeah, no, that's a really good thought. I know that, and just to keep in mind, talking about new features that HighLevel is releasing, Shivam Tiwari, who's their lead product manager and one of their original employees, very clearly stated to me at Summit this past year that they're not releasing any new features this year whatsoever.
They don't
That
need to.
it is all enhancements on existing features. So outbound voice AI is an enhancement on an existing feature, and everything they're releasing this year is solely focused on improvements and enhancements.
Yeah, it's a really good direction that they taken this year, because I mean, as a business, that's one area that was always like a little bit weak. So the fact that they're doing it, and I think it's also going to be with UX and UI as well.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, so it's exciting, mate. If you could give one piece of advice to a new high level user to make their life easier when adopting and using HighLevel, what would you think would that be?
Focus on selling solutions, not features. That's the number one. Go to BNI, start with BNI. That's like the number one way you can get your first set of leads, your first set of clients, refine your pitch, learn from other business owners. Um, don't bite off more than you can chew or think that you need some crazy snapshot in order to sell HighLevel, because you don't. That's why HL Pro Tools snapshots are very intentionally designed to be useful and not overcomplicated. You don't need some crazy snapshot with 250 workflows in it. You don't need some fancy numbering system or, crazy build out of 5,000 funnel pages. You need some very simple things to deliver and solve problems for your customers.
I like that. That's great. Great advice. Mario, we also have on this podcast, we have a segment called The Beef. Have you heard about it?
I have not.
So it's an opportunity for any high level that's listening to this podcast to be able to promote their idea that they've submitted on the ideas board, and and promote it so that they can get some get more people to learn about it, and if they like it they can give it up. And the whole idea is that I wanted to provide this opportunity because in the GHL community, you cannot promote your ideas, right? posts like that, they get taken down for, for logical reasons. Otherwise, it'd just be a flood of posts about that. So that's what that is. Do you have any like a quote unquote beef, more of a like a frustration or something, like a particular feature that, an idea that you'd like to get more upvotes for?
Yeah, so the big one is accessibility inside the platform. And I know Uday and the other program managers and engineering managers are working on it, but the biggest problem that I see right now is accessibility of the platform to people with disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably the number one. Number two would be better access to the APIs and more consistent access to the APIs. That's been a really big challenge for us as developers, is that, the APIs are very clearly built. The endpoints are built by different people. And so they'll refer to a time zone in one place, but not in another. They'll use a Unix timestamp in one and a ISO 8601 time code in another. So between accessibility and the API endpoints being consistent, those are probably my two biggest beefs with HighLevel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And those are like, I mean, definitely that consistency API. I don't do none of that, but I can imagine that is like critical. Critical. Yeah. Speaking of accessibility, guys. So yes, whilst there's nothing kind of GHL doesn't have anything of that sort of nature well built enough yet. What you can do is if you head over to podcast.highlevelexperience.com and you go to episode 23, which from September last year, but still very valid. I had a pleasure of interviewing Tony Caggiano, and he has a great like a software on being able to install accessibility.
Oh, cool.
Well, basically make any customer's website fully accessible for any disability. So we definitely talk a lot about that, and also we talked about how it actually, which I didn't realize, how you can make money, how you can, sounds bad, but like how it can help you, or how you can generate more business customers on the back of helping them apply for government grants, because there are, and I think it was related to US, but he was talking about a program where as a business owner, if you have a website, if you do implement accessibility, you can claim some funding and things like that. And so if you know about these programs, then you can go to the
Oh,
business
cool.
owner and help them get it. And now they've got the money to pay you. So it's like, that's a no-brainer. So episode 23, check it out. All about how ADA compliance can save you from lawsuits and boost your agency's SEO. Very, very powerful. Before we continue this interview that I've got with Mario, I wanted to talk to you about a submission by another GHL legend who submitted their beef. So this is coming from a gentleman, Mark, and he submitted the beef, but I'm not going to talk to you about it. Let me just play a video that he submitted so that you can make up your mind whether this is something worth upvote. And if you do agree, please give it an upvote. All the upvote links are in the show notes. Here we go. Here is Mark.
Vit, long-time listener, first-time caller. I'd love to be able to get people to upvote this request. I submitted it February 22, 2024. There's a LMS called LearnDash. It works with WordPress, and we've used it extensively with the International Swim Coaches Association. I probably have 10 years of content and courses in here. If you got a youngster, they might love this Mental Skills for Young Athletes course. Our global library has hundreds and hundreds of lessons and topics, part of a course. I don't need to have the quizzes, but would love to be able to get the clicks. And I am going to have a meeting with the people at GHL to see if this is possible.
Mario, we're at the end of the show. I appreciate you jumping on today. It's been very insightful. I've been looking forward to have you on for a while, and I'm glad we finally made it happen. Would there be any like last piece of advice that you'd like to leave to the listeners today?
Yeah, absolutely. So my biggest piece of advice is just get out there and do it. Don't, I had a call with a gentleman a couple of weeks ago, and he's part of my coaching group. And he called me and he said, "Look, man, I'm really struggling. I can't get my product ready." And I said, "What's your product?" And he said, "Well, I've got this snapshot." And I said, "Stop right there. That's your first problem. Your product is a solution. It's a problem you solve. That's your product at the end of the day. And you don't need a crazy snapshot. You don't need a bunch of fancy bells and whistles. What you need is someone like a partner like HL Pro Tools. You need to do your research, identify your customers, and really just get out there and do it. So don't be scared. Don't be afraid. 80% of something is better than nothing. That's my biggest piece of advice for agency owners and entrepreneurs out there right now. And that's really, the biggest thing I have to say.
Excellent. I love that. The approach of talking to business owners, going, buying them a coffee, sitting down, and just asking questions that,
Yep.
what's working in your business? How do you run your business? What's your hey, in this industry? I've never worked in this industry, but I'm just curious by nature. How do you generate customers? What is the journey of somebody becoming a customer? How does it? Really curious. And then they tell you all that, and they might tell you, well, yeah, that's how it works. And then you say, well, what's not working in that process? What's working? And all that insight, obviously on the back end, if you have a good understanding of all the capabilities of GHL, if they tell you all this insight, you could pretty much come up with an offer on the spot.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And it'd be a super dialed in offer that they just gonna go for because you made it around them.
Yep.
So
100%.
yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so thank you so much, mate. Guys, again, if you want to learn more about HL Pro Tools, head over to highlevelexperience.com/HL Pro Tools. Mario, thank you so much, man. I know you are a busy man. So once again, I appreciate you being on. You've got some exciting stuff that you are sharing with all of us this year. You're doing a cool little a travel around, visiting other high-level agencies around the world. So hit me up when you're in Australia. I'm in Canberra, so we can I can show you around in Canberra. There's some cool stuff here. And guys, thank you so much for listening to today's episode on HighLevel Experience Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, then please share it with your fellow agency mates and other high levels that you think would also benefit from listening. For show notes, links, and extra tips to help you grow your agency or your SaaS with HighLevel, please go to highlevelexperience.com. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day, everybody.
Thanks, Vit. Talk soon.